to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ebro in La Mañana with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg. I'm not in the mood. Sorry, guys.
I feel you.
Not in the mood.
I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood to talk about this madness. I'm definitely in the mood to talk about that, man. I don't. That's how I deal with it, I guess.
What you gonna say?
That's the thing. I just feel like people. I feel like I'm actually in the mood to listen too, because I'm sure this. Maybe it's on the heels of Ahmaud Arbery. Maybe it was the fact that yesterday started with a video of people weaponizing black skin color. Maybe it was the combination of it all. Maybe it was the brutality of the knee on the neck and the man begging for his life. But I don't know about you guys. Yesterday did feel like a breaking point. It felt different for a lot of people. And I'm curious to see how people feel, because I know people really were hurt by this.
Yeah, I mean, we could take phone calls, but what you gonna say?
And what are you going to do?
And what exactly are you gonna do? Truth be told, I probably broke a long time ago. I saw my own dad get beat up by the police, no lie, maybe 4 times. And, so I grew up, that energy was in the house already. But my dad was the type of guy that was ready to fight a cop, no problem. 3 or 4, no problem. Get his teeth knocked out, go to jail. He was that type of guy. And, it's probably the reason I move the way I move now, as far as my career, the money that I try to get, and the way that I stay away from even interactions with police. And I don't know if that's the answer either, right? Because that's what they want. They want you to live in fear. Mm-hmm. They want you to feel like they are the end-all, be-all.
Right.
And I've met some great cops who really want to do a great job. The system of policing is so immersed in racism because the nation is immersed in racism, classism.
Right.
So you can't remove, even if you're trying to do the best job as a police officer, I salute you. Mm-hmm. And you're trying to every day get out there, and you're dealing with a lot. But you opted in for that. You chose that. And you chose what comes with that. And you chose to burden the history of that. And hopefully you're working to change it, like some of the officers we know. But
that's hard too, though. That's limited in what they're capable of doing too. You're just talking about you could change your life and the people around you. This is such a systemic, huge problem, though.
And that's why it's like, look, people are going to call. They're going to be upset, and rightfully so. And I'm sure there's going to be some D-bags that call in and try to say something, provocative, and try to start an argument and try to do X, Y, and Z. But, ultimately, the controls that are put up to keep everybody behaving a certain way, or the blinders that you may have on because you feel broken, like you can't do anything about it. It's also part of the reason I'm such a big promoter of participating in local politics and participating in your local community. is because it feels like something that you can actually be heard and be effective with someone like
That's the marketing.
Chief Madry or someone like AOC or even a Eric Adams. These people that you think get it.
Mm-hmm.
You think. Jamani Williams, we have a lot of people here. But New York City doesn't come without incident. Or, a police officer who looks like me towing the line on behalf of a racist institution and brutalizing another human being just because you got a badge and a gun. And then the Minneapolis incident happens, and we automatically bring it into our I guess it comes in close proximity, and it feels like it's right next door.
Yeah.
Because it is next door. They continually make an example of whoever it is, no matter what position you're in. I mean, this dude is like leaning on this man's neck to show you this is what will happen to you.
Yeah.
If you're a police officer that's black and you're in the system and you try to do something good, they then surround you and show you.
And try to ostracise you.
Right. To make
like
an
they
example
did
of
Edwin
you.
Raymond.
Exactly.
And without
or Madry.
and without the community and us rallying around these individuals, they wouldn't be protected either.
Well, even the president in his position, Trump pointed him out. They will corner you. Look at you.
Minneapolis is where Philando Castile took place also. And that was live on Facebook.
And Ebro, correct me if I'm wrong, Minneapolis is a pretty interesting town in terms of diversity and integration. A lot of African immigrants, a lot of a ton of biracial families there.
Yes. In Minneapolis, the city, and remember it's Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Right.
St. Paul, when you go back historically, I believe St. Paul was the black city, Minneapolis was the white city. And St. Paul's got a black mayor, Minneapolis got a white mayor. But both mayors were outraged. Minneapolis has a young mayor, acted as fast as he could. They fired these individuals that killed George Floyd and fired them fast, but that's not enough. Firing is not enough. And the process, these men haven't even been arrested yet.
When I just hear firing, I'm like, so what next? They get to keep their pension. Yeah, they lose their job, but like how many times have we heard stories of cops being able to relocate, start all over again like nothing happened?
Listen, they'll have an opportunity today. If they're really worried about, and man, I am not someone who subscribes to violence ever. Like I really am not that person. But it is one of those situations where you wonder if the city was hot enough and they were that concerned about things, they could do something. They could give you the imagery of these guys getting arrested and taken in and being held. They could do that. They fired them. So they're not treating them currently as police officers. So are they going to continue to protect them? Or now that they're fired, can they just be pursued, brought in, and treated like criminals?
How long is that going to take?
That's what I'm saying, but they have an opportunity to do it now if they want to. If they wanted to do that today, they could.
We dealt with the Garner case for years.
Right, but here goes the piece, right? Even at every level in our society, and this is the fundamental issue. And it brings in my brain back to when we talked to Andrew Yang. In our Andrew Yang interview, the last time he was up here, we were talking about Trump being impeached, okay? And Andrew Yang was not in support of a removal from office. And the quote, if I recall, was, we're not one of those nations that has those problems where we arrest and I'm paraphrasing, we arrest and remove politicians. We have a process for that.
Oh, yeah. I remember this part, yes.
Right? And every time I think about these things, I think about people who think like that. We have a process to deal with that. It's called voting. People are fed up with your processes. People don't want to hear your process. People don't want to be talking about the same thing 3 years from now and figuring out if this and, oh, well, we're a country of laws. Are we? Are we a country of people who have the money and the complexion for the protection? That's what we are.
The laws that only apply to certain people.
Right. They consistently show us they're above the law.
And laugh in our face about it.
And
the reason I bring that up is because this nation will have to begin, no matter where you are in society, financially, no matter where you rank complexion-wise, and yes, there's a complexion ranking and an appearance ranking in our society. No matter where you rank in that, if these things are going to be healed, fixed, no one is above the law. Look, there's people who still believe in their mind that Trump is going to jail. The rest of us are like, yeah, right. Trump ain't going to nobody's jail. He might win again for president.
Right.
Trump going to jail?
Yeah, right.
What? Trump is not going to jail.
And many of us
bro.
want to believe our society. Fam, we just couldn't. 100,000 people just died, bro. In months.
most of which brown and black, by the way.
100,000. What are we talking about, man? We look stupid still believing these shenanigans.
Right. We consistently ask for accountability and balance.
And until leadership is going to step up and do that, you're going to get every time, you're going to get what you saw in Minneapolis last night. And then the police are going to retaliate, and then the neighborhood's going to retaliate, and then this one's going to jail, and then these people are going to get shot at, and then these people are coming out with their guns. It's just going to keep, and it's going to, every time it's going to get worse.
And the people always lose. The people always lose.
And they know that, Laura, because they already have a system set up to deal with the population to make sure that they put you in place.
Yeah, they're about to take it out of the news, make sure we don't see it as much as possible, and feed us with something else to distract us.
And look back at the history. How many horrifying things have happened to black people in this country? The response has been taken to the streets, and then things continue. This is part of it. They know this part's happening.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, while I totally empathize with those who want to go to the street, just be clear, that's also part of their plan. They know that's happening.
They've researched this
They-
6
they-
ways from
Yes.
Sunday,
Right.
man.
They know how this goes. They're going to come out and do that, and then the next step. And then, Ebro, to your point about Andrew Yang and that whole idea of, well, you can vote people out and there's a process. That's just a stall out.
Well, not only is it just a stall out, but it's arrogant. The arrogance of America is why we have 100,000 people dead. The ignorance combined with arrogance is why we have voted in leadership that behaves the way they behave. The superficial, shallow materialism and capitalism is why all of this can be financed. And people will do anything for money, your politician, your cop, whoever. It's because we don't have a culture based on humanity. We have a culture based on money
Right.
and power. And that's what people sign up for when they say, I came to America for a better life. In their minds, a better life is a life that is about materialism, money, and gains like that, and power. That's what their better life is. And it's one of the best options you have on planet Earth.
Right. Well, humanity's not doing that great all over the planet, so exactly. This is actually a pretty good choice. You
So my point is, the shenanigans and the lies are gonna have to stop, or we're just gonna have more death. Whether it's gonna be death by disease, it's gonna be death by the hands of people who are paid by taxpayers to protect people, quote unquote. And they protect people, all right, because they damn sure can figure out how to not murder a white mass murderer. They can figure that out, no problem. Somebody could lay down 50 people and get taken to Burger King on their way to jail for their last meal.
The lies are not going to stop. They're too deep. They're just going to continue to try to dumb us down and desensitize us to it.
Well, they're going to have to come up with a new plan. I do think that people are catching. The cameras have changed the game. Something's going to give. Something's going to break soon. I will tell you that. There's a day of reckoning coming. Listen, I was talking. My dad was saying to me yesterday. We were on the phone talking about Trump and everything, and my dad was quoting Malcolm X, "The chicken's coming home to roost." That's all this country is the chicken's coming home to roost. This is what we have set up. This is what this whole country has been based on, and the reckoning is going to come. I don't mean to be that negative voice saying, and sounding threatening and ominous, but something's going to happen.
Well, are you being negative or are you being honest?
No, I'm being honest. I truly believe
that's the problem.
A day of reckoning is coming.
That's the problem. We need more honesty. Most people are probably, your followers is jumping in your social media when we post this conversation saying that you guys are divisive, you're so negative, why don't you just move? You dumbasses are the reason that we're having this problem, is because you want to ignore the issues.
Until something happens to them.
Out of your arrogance. Your arrogance and desire to make this nation great again ignores the fact that you're sick. You're never going to be great. You're never going to be great because you're sick to the core.
And they don't even understand the fundamental. Those people, the Make America Great Agains, like the real racists out here, they don't even believe in the marketing. You've always said this. The amazing thing is people of color and immigrants are the ones who really believe in and push the marketing plan of America.
Why you think they put your man MLK up there? He's pushing the marketing. I have a dream.
Right.
That one day, and why they put Obama up there? Hope. Hope. Keep hoping. Keep hope alive.
Keep on. Yes.
Keeping on. That's black people and immigrants run that. The MAGAs, all they care about is white dominance.
Right.
What do we do now? Because people are hurt. And when I was watching those people during the riots, I just feel like so many are just going to be taken away, arrested. I thought about Ferguson. I thought about people disappearing. I'm telling you, even yesterday when my boyfriend is watching the video, he's like, Laura, I don't know what I would do. He's like, Laura, I would push that officer off of him. I couldn't just stand there and watch him get killed. But I said, if you push that officer, that means it's an excuse for you to get killed.
Right.
What do we do now?
I mean, marching.
Well, and they can't even put out the T-shirts that say "Trust the process."
Yeah. Well, how could you do that?
How would trust when? How did you earn my trust?
Right. Marching down the street gonna make this better?
Is tweeting about it, posting videos, that gonna make it
And that's
better?
why I said I'm not in the mood today. Like we could ignore.
Biden gonna make this better?
But by the way, and I will say something though, and maybe I'll say it, and after I say it, Ebro will say something smart, and I'll think I'm stupid. But that's why I really do look to good white people a lot. When are us? When are we, white people who are on the right side of the issue, going to put themselves on the front line and show that this problem, because obviously they don't care about the feelings of black people. We've seen that displayed since the dawn of time. So when are allies going to also put themselves on the front line completely to show that they won't accept it?
It's going to be tough, Rosenberg. It's going to be tough. We saw it with Cap. Not one person, not one white player stood by him.
No,
not one.
The most they would do is like touch his shoulder pad. No, like there was one or two. Chris Long kneeled, right? There were like a couple, but basically no one. Because we can't continue to ask black people, we can't continue to ask those who are being oppressed and killed to also be the ones to bail us out of the oppression and killing. So when are other people going to do something? And not just say, oh, I feel bad for black people. It's really a shame. You shouldn't feel bad. You should feel anger. You should feel the same pain. Those are just your fellow human beings who are dying and being killed. It shouldn't be like, oh, but I feel bad for the black experience. This is the human experience. We're watching our brothers and sisters, all of us, be treated this way. Whether we get the treatment or not, we need to recognize that we don't get the treatment and be just as angry about it.
It's not how humans work, unfortunately.
They just go, oh, that's a shame. Oh, that's a shame.
Until it's on their doorstep.
It's the same thing with police officers. You know, I've been out, and people who listen to our show, I have cops who tell me, I love your show. I know you guys don't like us. I know you guys don't mess with us. I said, what do you mean? I said, let me rephrase that. I said, we ask for accountability. We want you guys to point out the bad cops. And he's like, it's harder. It's harder than you think. It's harder than you think.
The one time a cop said that to me at MSG, I was walking in MSG like, he said, Ebro, I listen to you guys all the time. You don't like us. I said, I may not like you if the shoe fits.
Right. But you shouldn't feel that way if you're a good cop.
And he said something. I said, you got a badge and a gun. You shouldn't be feeling no type of way. You get to walk around out here with the license to kill. You shouldn't be feeling no type of way. And in my mind, I was like, sensitive bitch ass.
I wish I liked your show, but you make me feel bad. And by the way, we know there are tons of people who don't feel that way and get it. So we'll see. I wonder if cops across the country will step up and say anything about this.
They're not going to do it.
They're not going to do it.
How many will say something?
Listen, the protections that are in place, bro, can you even name me the cops?
But the ones who...
Oh, the guy Chauvitz?
No, all of them. Four of them.
All of them. I only know two.
There's four of them on his neck.
Their names were released because I didn't see them yesterday.
Yeah, no, their names are out. The guy that was on his neck, his name is out.
But how hard do you have to search to find it?
It was on multiple pages.
Not as easy as George Floyd,
though. CNN?
They put out his address. The guy that had his knee on the man's neck.
Now, was that the
his
internet?
His address is out.
Ebro?
The internet. That's not coming from, hey, look, this officer did this.
Oh, you mean from the department? No.
No,
right,
that's not coming.
Yes, yeah. No, absolutely not.
So, yeah.
There's protections in place. And that's why I said, started this by saying, I'm not in the mood.
I have a huge knot in my stomach.
Well, that knot in your stomach means you care. And if you're not feeling that knot in your stomach today, and you're not feeling very upset about this, then you're part of the problem.
Correct.
And this will continue.
And if you're the person in your family, you're the person who listens to Hot 97. You go to work, and when you're with your friends, you listen to Hot 97. But when you go back to your parents' house, they're always saying, oh, black people this and N-word that, and oh, he deserved it. And you just sit there, and you're like, well, I know that, I don't really agree with this, but, I mean, my parents are my parents. You're part of the problem, too.
I mean, a man is laying there saying, I can't breathe. We've seen this before.
Mm-hmm. Verbatim.
I cannot breathe. At what point do you, and he's handcuffed. At what point do you get off of his neck with your hand in your pocket?
Well, he enjoyed it. It was turning him on.
To make an example.
And it turned him on, my guy.
Of course.
They like it. Bro.
So then what changes this? The hoops that they try to make you jump through to feel like you're going to create change through their systems that's built for this?
Exactly.
Nah. How many hoops?
I mean, how much time you got? Because they going to keep putting the hoops up.
I don't got that much time because we don't know what happens from minute to minute.
Especially these days.
Well, that's why, they definitely didn't show you this on the news. But on Ahmaud Arbery's block, black men was lined up with them bulletproof vests on.
The militia.
You got guns, we got guns, now everybody got a gun. And they didn't show you the video of the cops at the end of the street and the black men in front of Ahmaud Arbery's house. Because before they shook down that whole situation down there and all the corruption that's been taking place down there, which we'll see how that plays out. Those cops didn't want to come on that block. And those cops were a part of the problem. You will see some police officers put it on the line for the people. We'll start seeing that.
Right.
Not a lot, but a few. And this type of hopelessness, this type of frustration, this type of disenfranchisement, this type of unwillingness that will ultimately push many of us to not participate is also a win. It's also a win. When you get tired of jumping through the hoops, when you get tired of participating, when you get tired of playing the game, they still win. The system still wins, right, no matter which way you want to slice it. You want to be mad and not participate, we got something for you.
Right.
You want to act out and go toe-to-toe with cops, we got something for you.
So it's a lose-lose on this side.
Or it's a lose,
so
and
we want to put your energy.
It's a lose, and we might win.
Come on, fam.
Right.
With that falsetto,
it's a L,
chill,
and
fam.
I mean,
yo, Ebro, this is.
And hold your breath for it. Nah, fam.
It's a L and a.
Hopefully? Right, nah. Look, man.
It's a L and a maybe. It's a L and a maybe. It's one and a possible.
A maybe.
It's a spades number.
A possible based on the dream that they sold us.
It's a possible.
But is it really possible?
Man, you got to play
Because
the
we haven't
cards,
seen
man.
it.
You got to play the cards, man.
Guys, now I don't know if anyone even understands what we're talking about anymore. You're just saying random theoretical words.
Yeah,
you got. Yeah,
What
okay.
the hell? What the hell is wrong with
Ebro, I'll tell you
I
one
got
thing
one
that's
and a possible.
One thing that's interesting here, though. I'm looking. I put up a kind of emotional post last night on my Instagram, and I'm shocked at the lack of MAGAs in the comments. I don't understand. I'm truly surprised by this. I wonder if they're embarrassed. I wonder if there's any level of them that go, well, this is a hard one for even us to say is okay. I haven't been able to see what the justification could be. George Floyd was supposedly wanted for what? Forgery?
He was allegedly forging a check and was intoxicated. He did not have a weapon. There was no weapons involved at all. There's video of them taking him out of his car and putting him against the wall.
Okay.
I don't know how he got from against that wall to the side of the police car. Maybe they were trying to put him in the police car. We don't know. Haven't seen that video yet. But to everyone who was there, he was not resisting arrest. And they had his knee on his neck for over 5 minutes. That's the other peculiar piece.
I thought it was like 10 minutes.
Well, the mayor said 7, so that's why I went with over 5. Maybe it was 10. But more than 5 is crazy. More than 1 is crazy. Your knee on somebody's neck, I don't even know if that's supposed to be is a thing.
It seems like it.
I just saw an article in the newspaper in Minnesota that said it was written by an expert about how every single thing that could possibly be done wrong in that situation was done wrong. It was literally like a how to do this wrong. everything about it.
And that's what's going to be used when this is investigated and potentially if charges are brought. But being a police officer is the job that I know about. Maybe you could be a doctor where you can screw up and kill. I think doctors, you lose your license, you get a lawsuit. As a police officer, the cities pay lawsuits to families, wrongful death lawsuits and things like that, malpractice for doctors. A police officer can screw up, kill somebody, and keep their job. And retaliate. Here in New York City, Officer Pantaleo was retaliating against the NYPD for wrongful termination and trying to get his pension back. So I don't know what people want today or what you feel like you can do, which is why yesterday in Minneapolis you see people in the street. It's because they feel hopeless. They feel under attack, and that's going to continue.